My name is Lily. I am 27 years old, and I have been married for 3 years. I want to share my story. It is a sad story. It is about my husband, his family, and my regret. 3 years ago, I married a man named Mark. At that time, I thought I loved him. Mark seemed like a kind and caring man. He told me he would take care of me, and he promised we would be happy together. I believed him. I was young, and I wanted to start a new life. My parents told me, "Mark is a good man. He has a nice family. You will have a happy life with him." I trusted them, so I said yes when Mark asked me to marry him. The first few weeks of our marriage were fine. Mark was sweet to me. He brought me flowers and smiled at me every day. But after a month, everything started to change. Mark stopped being kind. He became cold and distant. He didn't talk to me much, and he didn't care about my feelings. If I tried to share my thoughts or tell him how I felt, he would say, "Stop complaining, Lily. You should be happy. You have a husband now." His words hurt me, but I stayed quiet because I wanted to be a good wife. At first, I didn't understand why Mark was acting differently. I thought maybe he was stressed or tired from work. But then I realized the truth. Mark's family was the reason he changed. They didn't want him to marry me. His mother, Mrs. Taylor, wanted him to marry someone else, a richer, more educated woman from their community. She didn't like me from the beginning. She said I wasn't good enough for Mark, and she made him believe it, too. Mark's mother had a strong hold over him. He listened to everything she said. She controlled his life, even after we got married. She told him, "Lily is not a good wife. She doesn't know how to take care of you. She is not smart or beautiful enough for our family." Mark believed her words. He started to see me as a problem, not as his wife. Mark's family also gave him pressure. They said he should be stricter with me so I would learn to be a better wife. His sister, Emily, always told him that I was lazy and useless. She said, "Why do you let Lily do whatever she wants? She's not doing enough for this family." Mark started to think I was not doing my part, even though I was working hard every day to please him and his family. Over time, Mark changed completely. He became rude and mean to me. He didn't treat me like his wife anymore. Instead, he treated me like a servant. He would say, "Lily, why can't you make my mother happy? Why can't you do things better?" He stopped taking my side and started blaming me for everything that went wrong. I felt like I was living with a stranger, not the man I married. Mark's family also became a big problem for me. I thought they would treat me like part of their family, but I was wrong. His mother was the worst. She always found reasons to criticize me. She said my cooking was bad, my clothes were ugly, and I wasn't good enough for her son. She told me, "Mark deserves better than you. You are lucky he married you." Her words made me feel small and worthless. Mark's sister Emily was also unkind. She would laugh at me and say mean things. She said I was boring and not smart. She would whisper to Mark when I was in the room, and they would laugh together. I didn't know what they were saying, but I knew it was about me. I felt like I was not welcome in their family. Mark's family controlled everything. They told me how to cook, how to clean, and even how to dress. If I didn't do things their way, they would get angry. Mark's mother would shout at me and say, "You are lazy. You don't deserve to be in this family." Mark never stopped her. Instead, he would say, "Listen to my mother, Lily. She knows best." I tried to talk to Mark many times. I told him I was unhappy. I told him his family was hurting me. But he didn't care. He said, "Stop making problems, Lily. My family is important to me. You need to respect them." I felt like I didn't matter. My feelings didn't matter to him, and I started to wonder if he ever really loved me. One day, Mark's mother told me to clean the entire house for a family party. I worked all day, but when the party started, they didn't even thank me. Instead, they laughed at me because I looked tired. Mark's sister said, "Lily, you look terrible. You should try harder to look nice." Everyone laughed, including Mark. I wanted to cry, but I held my tears because I didn't want them to see how much they hurt me. That night, I sat alone in my room and thought about my life. I remembered how happy I was before I married Mark. I had dreams, friends, and hope for the future. Now, I felt like I had nothing. I was just a wife who was never good enough for her husband or his family. I asked myself, why did I marry Mark? Why didn't I see the truth before? I realized that I had made a big mistake. Now, I live with regret. I regret marrying Mark. I regret trusting him when he promised to take care of me. I regret believing his family would accept me. I feel trapped in this marriage. I don't know how to leave because I am afraid of what people will say. I am afraid of being alone, but I am also afraid of staying. Mark misbehaves with me because he listens to his family more than he listens to me. His family doesn't respect me, and now he doesn't respect me either. I feel like I don't have a voice. I feel like I don't have love in my life. This is my story. It is not a happy story, but it is my truth. I hope one day I can find the courage to change my life. Until then, I wake up every day with regret in my heart. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe, like, comment, and share.